Hello everyone. I'm going to be playing the B flat minor etude from the Selected Studies book. This is on page 50, and this is the second etude for Oklahoma's OKMEA auditions for 2020 and set 1. I'm going to play this etude at around 72, and then I will discuss some practice tips afterward. Okay, that's really a fun etude. I really like it. I learned it back in high school for fun. I remember being in the band hall just playing by myself and just practicing this etude, like really focused on it. And one of our band directors from our rival high school had stopped by to talk to my band director, and he overheard me playing and he said, "Good job." And I was feeling really good about it. So that is my high school memory of learning this etude, like really getting into it when I felt like I could play it well. The first thing I wanted to address was just some articulation related issues. As you probably know, it has a lot of notes in the middle register, and it is really easy to crack, especially the E flats. Now, one exercise that I wanted to bring up was just a simple double-tongued exercise using the opening rhythm. And so if I just take my first measure and just make a scale, I'm just going to play that one measure's rhythm in however much of a scale I want. I could do 1 octaves or 2 octaves. I'm just going to start with 1 octave for now. Now, most likely your first problem is probably going to be the E flat, which is just a really stuffy note. And it's so stuffy right now, I can't even play it on my other flute, which needs to be in the shop, which is why I'm playing on my old silver flute. So with your E flat, the first thing you want to figure out is, are you turned out too much or are you turned in? Now, if you're turned in, it's going to make kind of like a train whistle sort of noise. And if you're turned out, you'll get the same sort of effect, but it just sounds a little different. So the best way to check your alignment is just to find that spot where it's not going to make that train whistle noise. also the D flat can be really, really sharp. So you got to make sure the D flat is low enough, which is why I was bringing up, if it's too rolled in just to get your D flats in tune, it can impact the E flat as well. So you've got to really get that D flat and E flat in tune. Most likely having to bring the D flat down and then the E flat up a little bit. Really, really tricky. And if one of the notes is just not quite in tune, but one of them is, then just find a good compromise. Where both notes will come out. So now I'm going to start back on that D flat and go up. Okay, so my highest note in the etude is a high A flat and also a high G flat. So now I'm going to go up a second octave to make sure these notes have a good response. And I slowed the metronome down just a little bit to 66. Our favorite G flat, which likes to chirp or crack down or all these other things that we don't want it to do. So stay on that G flat a little longer if you need to, using the middle finger, which is a lot more reliable. Now I'm just going to hold that high B flat, and then you can go back down. You can also alternate the rhythm and just do a single. If you want to go lower, also look for your lowest note, which is an E flat, might also have a D in there, but you do have a few Fs, so you definitely want to at least go to an F and an E flat. Now when it starts doing that, redo it and make sure that that fuzzy note comes out. And since I'm really just in the key of D flat, I'm going to stop on the D flat. Okay, so that's if you're already double tonguing, like you already learned how to do it. That will be a good double tonguing exercise you can practice daily. Now, if you're still starting off with double tonguing, you can practice it another way. You just find a really slow eighth beat. In this case, I would probably go about anywhere between 80, 90, and 100 at the eighth beats when you're just getting the crisp articulation. And you can practice that single-tongued or double-tongue. I would suggest starting single-tongued and then switch into a double-tongue later. I do that kind of work with my tonguing all the time. Even if you're single-tonguing, you're still working on your double-tongue as well. And just some fingering suggestions. Highly suggest using the middle finger up on the high F and using the forked finger, because those high Fs can be really high. Make sure and lip that high F down, as well as using the middle finger G flat. And a couple of other practice suggestions would just be to make sure the tone is really good by practicing it all slurred. And really bringing out those accented notes with a nice, crisp, clear sound. So I hope this gives you something to work with, and let me know your progress in the comments, any other suggestions, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks.